my colleague, distinguished Senator and Chair of the Ministry of Information. A couple of committees, including yourself, has made this point about the challenge posed by the envelope system. And in most cases, most committees want us to want the government to exit from the envelope system. For me, the wrong assumption is that if you remove the envelope system and allow everybody to ask for what he or she thinks he wants in their agencies, the pressure is that Nigeria has unlimited resources available to be spent. Just to remind all of us as senators that earlier in the year, or late last year, we approved over $2 billion to be borrowed by federal government to fund budget. And we listened to the public reaction each time we approve of those huge numbers to be borrowed. And they think we are mortgaging the future of the country by borrowing more and more. But the truth is, you need to borrow, but when you borrow and use it in a manner that when our children are paying it back, they will see what the money was used for. If we borrow for propaganda, we borrow for doubtful activities, that is not the kind of debt I want to pass on to my grandchildren. And we are all here. When last did you hear the Minister of Information robustly defending government policies, the way one Mr. Maku used to do during President Jonathan? For me, I learned nothing from the Ministry of Information about what government is doing. It's not about going to attend a press briefing after council meeting. It's robustly defending and projecting what the government need to do. I don't see that coming from the Ministry of Information. Number two, when you see 000, what you didn't tell us is, how did they survive that year? How did they survive? There must be a reason that somebody came to the conclusion that they didn't need this funding. But this year, I see, for example, page sorry. I see, for example, Nigeria Press Council. It was 0 last year, 2024, and this year you're asking for 400 million. How did they survive last year without oxygen? They must have survived. There must be a reason why they were denied. And what is the reason for including them now? Because in one of our general chairman, sir, in one of our general conversation with the Finance Committee, I think there was one agency that at that judgment we said they should be deleted from federal allocation because we discovered they generate much more than they need. They pay a token to federation account, and then they generate more for themselves, and they agree that they generate enough to meet their running costs. We have to consciously cut costs. So Nigeria, as I said yesterday, and I think it's bears repeating, we are under envelope. We cannot spend more than Nigeria earn in revenue. And we cannot spend based on borrowing more and more. What is the capital element? Nobody really speaks to it. Now, the credibility of a station to generate revenue depends on the content of their broadcasting. So, other private TV stations are running on advertorials. They are not getting government funding. And people are glued to watching them every morning, every evening. What can NTA do differently to attract more viewers? If it makes himself an incredible station that people think, don't go to NTA, you can predict what they are going to say. That is not good for them. Why the people listen to Hausa BBC as you were talking about is because of the content of their broadcasting. They think that they are probably more truthful. It is good to defend government. I mean, BBC is owned by British government. They are not allowed to even take advert. But BBC know where to draw the line such that you want to watch BBC 1, BBC 2, BBC 3, and they're there. So my last conclusion, Chairman, is all of us, myself inclusive, I told those who appear before our Committee on Interior, when they talk about the envelope system, if you remove the envelope, does that bring to Nigeria all the resources we need? So I think we should, as National Assembly, they have to appropriate, encourage our people to understand that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has told the country repeatedly that he's tried to fetch a bucket of water from a very dry well. What that means is that the days of money is not the problem, it's gone. Nigeria now must reasonably demand that for every small bucket of water that the president draws from the dry well, these are his words, they cannot be thrown away the way it used to be. There can be no renewed hope if we throw money into non-essentials. So I think you have to advise your management to restructure. I see here, for example, the money appropriated for National Orientation Agency. I think I see here 30.4 billion naira. And that is personnel. Yeah, but it's all, when you hire somebody, it's because he has a job to do for you. So you are spending this on personnel. Overhead, 615. Capital, 455. And total, 14 billion. And a recommendation for capital increase. For NIO, you are recommending 40.9, more or less 41 billion naira. Where will the money come from?
Thank you, distinguished.
So I think, Chair, that as much as we are all, we will wish that, as I say, if the wishes were us, his purpose will right. But Nigeria is broke. And we should be careful in saying, open the envelope, let everybody spend as they want. I feel that the envelope system should be defended. And I stand by the envelope system, personally.
Just